All right, what's up, you guys? UFO Proof here, and this is more of like a spur of the moment. In fact, I'm actually at fucking work right now, but Cyrus had, you guys, UFO Proof here, sorry, and this is more of like a spur of the moment. In fact, Cyrus had sent me some articles that just came out in the Washington Post, and hopefully he's going to be on here and join me soon. Let me let him know that I'm up and going. All right, so I'm just telling him real quick. All right, and what up, Shroom? How you doing, buddy? So anyway, there were some articles that he had sent me that Cyrus had just sent me, which were really fucking cool. And I had seen a couple stories on it. I had read the original article. It's about the Navy investigating UFO sightings, and then this new article came out about how the pilots are getting angry with the Navy, and they're like, "Hey, man, we're seeing fucking UFOs, and you're not doing shit about it." And they're getting fucking pissed. And finally, they're like, "Oh, all right." Joseph Liquor. Well, what's up, Proof? I've been waiting for you to pop up. Things are all right here in Louisiana, and my friend and I guess it's 420 time for me. Now let's go. Hey, no problem, Joseph. Too bad you're in fuck off fucking Louisiana, dude. Don't get fucking arrested, all right? You guys have the worst fucking, you have more prisoners in your fucking state than they have in entire countries. It's fucked up. So don't get busted smoking that fucking Buddha. And what cocksucking fucking bitch already gave this a fucking thumbs down? What asshole is sitting on here waiting for me to go live? Like, oh God, yes, fucking thumbs down. I love it. Yeah, thanks for the view, douchebag. Anyway, where the fuck is Cyrus? Is he on here yet? Let me see. Oh, there he is. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Let me make sure my volume is up.
Yeah, I'm here. I was muted.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you. See, he's such a fucking polite guest, isn't he? Thank you, Cyrus. So now you got a chance to fucking read what you could of the articles. Let's break it down for everybody. What's going on?
Okay, so the gist of what I'm reading is, and
make sure to talk with your mouth full. Okay? Yeah, make sure that we go.
Yeah, that was one piece of popcorn, man. Come on, I'm hungry.
You gotta swallow that fucking popcorn and fucking show some fucking professionalism.
I'll drink a little beer and then
there we go.
That'll sound better.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so over the last week, Politico and the Washington Post published stories that the Navy is changing. The Navy is changing their guidelines for reporting. Well, I guess UFOs, if you want to break it down. I don't know if that's the technical term they use, but they're streamlining their process for reporting it, and they want to remove the stigmatization of any of their personnel that report seeing something strange, especially if it's flying over a military base.
All right, let me break this down for everyone who didn't understand what Cyrus is saying. What he's saying is that now the Navy is like, instead of making you feel like a fucking douchebag crazy person for reporting something in the sky, they're going to take it seriously. And, you know, that way you don't fucking feel like, oh, I can't go and tell anybody because then I'm not going to have any fucking work. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. And no one wants to hire a crazy person. Is that about right?
That's about right. They said, now who is this? Wow. Okay, so I'm quote the Washington Post, quote, recently unidentified aircraft have entered military designated airspace as often as multiple times per month. Joseph Gradisher, spokesman for the Office of the Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Information Warfare, told the Washington Post on Wednesday. Citing safety and security concerns, Gradisher vowed to investigate each and every report, unquote. Oh, it gets better.
Yeah, see, that's really interesting.
It gets better. Quote, we want to get to the bottom of this. We need to determine who's doing it, where it's coming from, and what their intent is. We need to try and find ways to prevent it from happening again, unquote.
right? And see, and this is the thing, and you got all these fucking people who are like, oh, like fuck, no weapons in space, like Stephen Greer. Oh, you know, the aliens are gonna come here. We don't want to fucking upset them, so just like leave them alone and let them do their thing. Fuck that, okay? I mean, fucking, we don't let anybody else just come around and do their fucking thing, all right? They got something that we fucking want, and I say we fucking take it. No, okay, that's kind of fucked up, all right? I'm going to admit that, all right? Now, I'm not saying that's the most ethical or morally correct thing to do. I'm just saying, militarily speaking and, you know, defense speaking, needs to be done. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's already been done multiple times. And Cyrus actually was validating this belief with something we were talking about earlier. Cyrus, could you go over that again, what you were saying?
About the trickster element?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where it gets really weird, but this is something that if you're familiar with Jacques Vallée, he's kind of the guy that put this all together. God, that was like decades ago he started talking about this. But what happens is we get these UFO sighting reports, and it's always like something that it's technology that humans don't have yet, but they almost have it. Like in the 1870s, 1880s, people were report seeing what do they call them? Ghost airships, the airships, ghost airships, and flying over like San Francisco and shining spotlights down and flying around. And then 1899, 1900 in Germany, Count von Zeppelin starts experimenting with airships.
Right.
And then in the 1950s, we get, well, in the 1940s, you have ghost rockets.
No. I mean, before that, right? Now, this was, I thought the ghost rockets were like 1920s, 1930s, right?
I thought they were like right after World War II.
No, they were definitely before World War II. We didn't have, like, there was rocket technology before World War II. Very infant, you know, very, you know, in infant stages, but we did have it. But I think it was in the 18 or 1920s and 30s, maybe, where they were getting sightings of ghost rockets. Okay, so this is another UFO phenomenon. Unless you're really into it, you might not know about it. It wasn't a big thing in America, but in other countries, they were seeing these ghost rockets. And then next thing you know, 2 decades later, boom,
20 years later,
rockets.
We have rockets.
Continue.
And then in 1947, the late 1940s, we start seeing these little streamlined spaceship-looking things, flying saucers, and late 1950s, early 1960s, you get Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin. We have the space race about 10 years later. Then that's what I just said his name, the French guy. So brain farting right now. Anyway,
Jacques Vallée?
Yeah, Jacques Vallée. That's what Jacques Vallée wrote about in his book, because he wrote it in like the 1970s. But now, and then what happened in like the late 1970s, and especially in the 1980s, you get all these things like weird black flying wings and weird black flying triangles. And then late 1980s, early 1990s, we get stealth fighters that are weird flying triangles and stealth bombers that are big black flying wings. And then starting in like late 1990s, you get tiny little things that are flying around, and they can fly around really fast and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And then starting about 2005, hobbyists like me start building drones. They're little tiny things that can fly around and do weird things and fly really fast. Now, it's always like 10 to 20 years ahead.
Now, we could consider that this is nothing more than Moore's law being implemented. Okay, this is true. We can't deny that. All right. However, it is awfully coincidental, you know, that we are seeing this stuff and then we're building it ourselves. Maybe we don't actually need the alien hardware to replicate it. We may just need to visually see it, understand what it's doing, and then we can figure out ways to do it on our own. All right. So for people who think that, oh, we don't have craft that move like zoot, doot, 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 like this, you know, fucking super fast or anything. Like we have drones, but they have propellers, so it's kind of slow and shit. That's absolutely false. All right. We have craft that fucking use rockets to fucking move like this and dart around. All right. I'm gonna put out a video on it. It's some footage that got declassified from DARPA back in 2005. They did this, and it just got declassified. But I mean, like these machines, they fucking have these rockets on them that can fucking just like a UFO moves. It's fucking insane, dude. All right. So it's like they must have been getting their ideas from these UFOs, and then you know the Navy coming out and saying stuff is interesting because the Navy seems to have more to do with UFOs than the Air Force. I
Yeah,
don't know
especially
why,
lately.
you know, but it seems like it's always kind of been like that. Like even Bob Lazar got paid through the Department of Naval Intelligence or whatever, you know.
Yep.
And fucking there's always like the Navy seems to be heavily involved with it, along with the DOE, the Department of Energy. I don't know why these guys are involved with UFOs somehow. All right, but their name comes up when doing investigations and researching UFOs. The Department of Energy and the Navy seem to come up more than anybody else, way more than the Air Force.
Well, the
You know,
Department of Energy is in charge of all the nuclear technology, including what they call high energy physics, which means nuclear bomb development.
another thing that's interesting, and a lot of people don't know this, all right, that the Department of Energy, so everyone knows about the Human Genome Project. It was a big project, by many doctors from around the world, funded by the Department of Energy. Why would the Department of Energy be funding a medical, science like fucking the Human Genome Project? There's something there, dude. I'm telling you, these guys are fucking, they're weird. They can't be touched by anybody. They're outside of the fucking law. They don't have to fucking, answer to
I'm going to
freedom
disagree
of
with you on that
information
one.
request. Oh, they don't have to fucking answer to any, who do they have to answer to?
Yes, they do.
Who?
Congress.
No fucking way, dude. Okay. They're totally,
Congress, and they have to Congress to the agency of the General Accounting Office, the GAO.
okay. Yes, technically, that's who you're going to go through. All right.
Legally.
Legally. All right. In reality, Department of Energy, Department of Defense, fucking Army, Navy, Pentagon, all these guys pay off Congress. They have a legal loophole called kickbacks, which they give to these guys, and these guys make sure that they get all the funding and everything they need, and they don't have to answer shit. And a lot of times, like the Department of Energy, it's part private, so there's stuff that they can keep private. They don't have to release everything for freedom of information requests. And a lot of these guys, a lot of times they'll do shit like that, which is fucking, that's not, like I've said before, you'll never find it in the government where it's going to be UFOs and stuff. It will be a private corporation that's going to have information on it, possibly Raytheon, shit like that, guys who are able to detect them, who've got the equipment. I mean, Raytheon was like, this is fucking awesome. We are one of the first people to fucking be able to fucking track a UFO. So they were super proud of their equipment being able to do that.
Yeah, I used to work for Raytheon.
Did you used to work for Raytheon?
Yes, sir.
What'd you do?
RFID, radio frequency
Really?
identification. Yeah.
You fucking chill. God damn it, dude.
No, you were using it to track property.
No, it makes sense though, And it's,
I could do an inventory I could do an inventory of all our computer systems by pushing a little cart through a room.
See, that's fucking cool, man. Let me say what's up to fucking Renee, to fucking Paul, to Nadine, to fucking Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling good. Hedgie, how you doing? What up, Nick, Dennis, Raphael? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm saying what's up to everybody. Okay, so now I got that out of the fucking way. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a big deal for ufology. It really seems like they're heading in the direction where being able to deny the existence of these craft are going to get to the point where that's not possible. all right, with all the cameras and all the high-tech equipment that's falling into the hands of the average fucking Joe. I mean, what are they going to, what can they do about it? You know, they're like, listen, we could keep it hidden for so long. We could make people feel like they're crazy. But the truth is, if we don't fucking jump on this, somebody else is going to. Russia, China, they've probably just now caught up to the point where they're able to fucking track them and do shit like that. And, you know, they're going to be able to get their technology, you know? What up, Dave? So,
well, there was the Washington Post article, and there was another article from big articles, thedrive.com. And let me get the author's name, Tyler Rogaway. He's basically saying in this that he thinks it's possible that some kind of extremely what's the term, compartmentalized, basically, unit in the Navy has some kind of technology that's so far advanced. And he's not saying it's alien, like he's saying like we invented it, but it's so far ahead of anybody else, we can't even let anybody know about it. We can't even have the possibility of having another espionage situation like what happened with Project Manhattan in World War II. Because Project Manhattan, we had Russians that were Russian agents working at Los Alamos that were leaking all the information about the development of the atomic bomb to Moscow. So to completely eliminate the possibility of that, like very, very few people know about this technology. And now they're actually testing it against United States, the stuff that everybody knows we have, against our weapon systems. And that's what happened to the Nimitz in 2004. Oh, no, we lost Kyle. Oh, you're there. Okay,
no,
I got
I'm
audio.
back.
Okay.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry. Go ahead.
So he pointed out, and I hadn't thought about this before, but hold on, I'll share my screen. He pointed out that oh, hold on, let me zoom out. That's the takeaway. So I think supposedly the Nimitz incident happened like out here past the continental shelf off the shore of Baja California, southwest of San Diego, California. But this part of ocean is not very far from San Clemente Island. Now the Navy owns all of San Clemente Island. And when the Navy wants to be alone and they want to test things that they don't want anybody to know about, this is where they go. See, so the Air Force has Area 51, which is up right here. See how fast it took me to get there?
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is. It's right there. So there's Area 51, but that's the Air Force. The Navy has San Clemente Island, and most people don't know about San Clemente Island. But see, look at the big advantage they have. Like, I could get a dune buggy and drive up on top of a hill, and I can freaking see Area 51 from like 40, 50 miles away. You can't do that with San Clemente Island. It's 50 miles off.
How close
It's like
can you
50.
get to the island?
It's all patrolled, man. They patrol this. You're not allowed to get close to it. Huh?
Is it restricted airspace and restricted waters?
Yeah, you better believe it. And look. See, they got stuff. There's an airstrip.
Oh,
there's facilities all along the ridgeline here. There's a big radar. There's see, look at this facility.
Almost reminds you of Area 51.
This is the Navy's version of it. If they want to test something and they don't want the people to see it, this is where they go. Look, here's all these apartments. Here's base housing. Fuel tanks for diesel generators. There's a concrete pier for pulling up boats for a ferry going to the mainland. And over here at the north end of the island is a big airfield with a it's a Beech 1900 airliner. So that's probably bringing personnel over from San Diego, from the Lindbergh Field, from KSAN, San Diego International Airport. I'll bet you. Helicopter pads, more housing.
How much you want to bet they're building submarines?
Yeah, well, not just submarines, but other things too.
but other things too. And you know, the fucking Navy,
Like things that fly.
you know, I mean, like I said, you know, they had the fucking supposedly, you know, they're paying for S4. And I know the Navy has to do with Area 51 as well as the CIA and, you know, and other places, you know, so it's not exclusive just to Air Force, you know. But the Navy is definitely into, you got to think that the Air Force doesn't exist without the Navy. Okay, the fucking Navy is first, you know, and it's probably the most important because of, you know, its advantage for any other branch. It can deploy every branch everywhere. You know, so
Well,
it's like the Air Force is not going to be anything without the Navy. So it's like I could see why they would get more funding, or why they would be able to have um, their hands into, you know, more secret projects than a lot of other people. You know, I mean,
the
it's just
Navy,
like,
the Navy has been traditionally the service branch that it does a lot more with technology than the other branches. Kind of trades off a little bit with the Air Force, because, you know, the Air Force is developing a lot of space and aviation technology, but, you know, the Army is just a bunch of grunts with helicopters.
exactly, the Army ain't shit. You know, those are the pawns. You know,
Exactly. But the
but
Navy, you know, you need complex technical systems to build ships and submarines and planes that can land on ships.
absolutely. You know, I mean, and that's the thing when it comes to technology that's driven by the Navy. I mean, like I said, you know, it's the radar, fucking lidar, fucking the Air Force, Army deploying fucking troops. I mean, but anything to fight a war starts with the Navy. Yeah, you know, so these guys are going to have the access to all of this shit. And another thing, there seem to be a lot of crazy UFO sightings coming from the water. So USO, you know, like
Hmm.
take the Puerto Rico UFO. Okay, that was caught by Homeland Security. All right,
Yeah, I'm a skeptic of that one, but that's okay. Kyle and I disagree on that, but that's
we
fine.
disagree. Okay, one of us is right, one of us is wrong. Okay, but that motherfucker started out as a pink light come up out of the water. You know, the Nimitz UFOs were fucking going down through the water and shit. You know, now I'm talking entire fleets. And that's the thing. You know what? The Navy and the Air Force are out running routines, fucking, you know, training missions, come across a fleet of UFOs. Yet we only get fucking the thermal footage. So you know for a fact that the footage of the fleet exists. You know for a fact, actual videotape, not thermal, but actual videotape exists of the fucking incidents, and probably countless more. And they've probably been trying to reverse engineer or figure out, oh, okay, well, how can we build this or build that? And, you know, I mean, I think, okay, like Bob Lazar said, they're, you know, using a antimatter reactor and trying to use, you know, element 115 and shit like that. They're like, could we do this stuff? Could we do it on Earth with anything on Earth? And they attempted to do it with plutonium and shit like that, you know, which fucking failed miserably. However, I mean, all these guys, that's what they get to do all day long, like at Los Alamos and shit. I mean, they could be creating gravitational fucking waves themselves. And, you know, at Los Alamos, obviously using a giant particle accelerator, you know, or one of the linear accelerators. But, you know, trying to use earthly materials seems like uh, a real possibility that they have figured it out, and maybe that's the information they need to fucking uh you know, keep quiet, you know.
Well, one thing I was wondering about with you when we were chatting earlier was, um, they mentioned. Oh, let me see if I can find it. They mentioned something about they've watched. Well, okay. Let me come back. I'm looking at the Washington Post story.
You know
Yeah,
what I
here we
find
go.
funny?
Here we go. Here we go. This
I
is the
got
quote I was looking for. In some cases, this is the Washington Post, April the 25th, 2019. Quote, in some cases, pilots, many of whom are engineers and academy graduates, so the Naval Academy in Annapolis, claim to observe small spherical objects flying in formation. Others say they've seen white tic-tac shaped vehicles. Aside from drones, all engines rely on burning fuel to generate power. These vehicles all had no air intake, no wind, and no exhaust. It's very mysterious, and they still seem to exceed our aircraft in speed, calling it a truly radical technology.
That is fucking awesome. And what's even cooler than that is UFO Disclosure TV just gave me a super chat for $20. Fucking thank you, dude. Fucking rock and roll, brother. Hell, fucking yeah, I have to throw that out there. I'm sorry for interrupting. But that was
No
that's fucking awesome, dude. Hell yeah, thank
Okay.
you, UFO Disclosure TV. How you doing, buddy?
So that came from Chris Mellon, the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, and he's a staffer in the Senate Intelligence Community. So that's pretty surprising.
Well, not to me at all, okay? Because I'll tell you the truth. As soon as they said, "Oh, you know, we saw fucking spheres flying around," okay, I know for a fact they exist. You know, so I'm like, yeah,
like to give you an idea of how high up that is. In my job, if that guy, if his Internet Explorer didn't work and he put in a ticket, that would be like a VIP ticket, and I'd have to respond to him in like 10 minutes and fix it within an hour. Like I can't put him on the end of my list. I have to go up there right away and fix his computer.
Right?
Oh,
Exactly, man. Wow, man. I don't.
But yeah,
Well,
there's a crossover here. Like if you did a Venn diagram, there's like UFOs, like right here, and then there's drones, and in the middle is United States military base. So is it a UFO or is it a drone like the ones I build? And I know that because I'm really involved with drones and a lot of the public policy and keeping an eye on the laws and stuff. They're very concerned about the rapid advance in drone technology, and regular people like me can build a drone in their basement that's stealthy enough that they can't even pick it up on radar because it's made out of styrofoam. So,
right?
and they've been putting drone detectors at all the bases. And I actually had, I don't know if I ever talked about this on your channel, but I actually read a story in, well, it was in the Washington Post, but before that, it was in Army Times. And they put a drone detector at this base in DC called Fort McNair. And they said, well, we're picking up somebody powering up a drone transmitter, the control transmitter to control a drone, 1.2 kilometers from the Defense University, I think that's the name of it, at Fort McNair. From the top of that building, it's 1.2 kilometers away. Someone keeps powering up a drone control transmitter, and we don't know why, and we don't know what they're doing. It's like, wait a minute. And I put a circle that went 1.2 kilometers around that building, and the line went right through my house. Like, oh shit, that's fucking
funny, you fuck.
you assholes! I'm not flying anything here. I'm just tuning my shit. But yeah, so.
Well, listen, you guys, I'm gonna have to get off here because I'm literally at work right now. But Cyrus sent me this fucking article. I thought it was too good, so I fucking took a lunch break. You've fucking costing me money, but thank God UFO Disclosure TV just fucking super chatted me 20 fucking bones, and so that just paid for my lunch. Fucking thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Cyrus, thank you for fucking coming and joining me. I'm going to probably stream again live when I get off of work around 9:30 tonight. So if you're still up and anybody else who else is up, come fucking join us, all right? All right, you guys. I gotta fucking. What's up?
Wait. One quick one. Somebody's saying, do you crackheads think the world is flat? Oh, I don't have my shirt, man. I have the same shirt that Simon Dan has. I do not think the world is flat. Not at all.
You crackheads think the earth is flat. Listen, Midnight Outlaws, I don't know why you think the earth is flat. Okay, I don't know what it's probably as flat as your fucking forehead is, all right, Midnight. All right, holy shit,
right here.
Dude.
Here's what I believe. Here it is in a nutshell.
What are you talking about? The earth flat, dude. This is
what Cyrus believes. So we have earth is not flat, vaccines work, we've been to the moon, climate change is real, the universe is expanding, math is the universal language, chemtrails aren't a thing, evolution is a fact, we are all made of star stuff, science is like magic but real, and we stand for science.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Cyrus. That's fucking right, dude. So fucking Midnight Outlaws, I'm fucking sorry if you're a fucking idiot, all right? But no, we are far
No,
from
he's
flat
cool.
earthers on
He
this
thought he
fucking
thought we he
channel.
thought we might be a little loonier than we really are. We're
No,
only
just
slightly crazy.
listen. Yeah, we're
We're
only
only
slightly
slightly
crazy.
crazy. We're not stupid.
No, far from it, dude. In fact, I think we're probably the most intelligent UFO channel out there, dude. All right.
All right.
All right, you guys. I gotta fucking go, all right? But I will be back on tonight, all right? All right, thanks a lot for joining me, all right, Cyrus? And everybody for joining me. I'll see you guys tonight, all right? UFO proof out. All right, later, you guys.